All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the CTM Community Podcast. This week we have me, Cool Fool. You guys can introduce yourselves again.
I'm NB.
Die.
I'm the B major. I was on the last iteration of the community podcast before it died out.
And this week not much has happened within the actual CTM community, but we still have stuff to talk about. And the first thing, not super related to CTMs or Minecraft, but it's the using Discord, which is a chat service that we use.
Are we actually doing this?
To talk amongst ourselves. Yes, we are. We are doing this.
I thought that was a joke.
The only advantage to Discord is that, or the only advantage to Skype is that everyone uses Skype. That's the only advantage, is that everyone is currently using Skype.
Yeah, this is a discussion we were having right before we
all
started.
regards, just like everywhere across the board.
Well, I personally think Skype is better for messaging.
I don't know, the messaging,
and you can copy paste everything.
Well, Discord also shows the times, and I don't really find a problem with the copy paste thing. I don't use it that much, and when I do use it, I could easily just put like the person's name in front of it and saying that they said this. And I don't know, I just think Discord, it's much more smooth, and Skype sometimes bugs out even with the messaging.
I've had major problems where it just it wouldn't let me post in group messages again on Skype. I have not had a single problem with Discord. It works perfectly for me, and I love it.
So yeah, use Discord. This isn't sponsored at all.
Also, I should mention, if anyone watching this wants to join the CTM Discord, make a Discord account and just message me or anybody, and we'll add you. It's not exclusive at all.
But I mean, if Discord
everyone.
wants to sponsor us, I mean, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah. Lots of money.
I'm completely fine with that.
Our sponsors are actually Mountain Dew, Discord, and
Doritos.
Doritos, yes. Those are all three of our sponsors. Okay, so that was completely off topic from what we were actually going to talk about, but this is CTM related, and that is talking about what in general makes a good CTM map. I think this was brought up on the last iteration, the Needs More Sponge, but we're going to talk about how that's changed and what you should do, because I actually got a comment on my last video saying, where do I start? What should I do? So if anyone wants to start talking about that.
I'll go ahead and start. First of all, I think you really need to plan it out. I can't put any more emphasis on the planning phase. If you really don't have a plan, you're just more likely gonna just drop the project, because you won't have a clear shot of, or a clear view of what you want accomplished. I've had multiple projects where I just completely skipped that phase, and just my maps haven't been made. So right now I've been putting the work in, just planning it out and making sure that this is something that I'll be I'll look back and say, oh yeah, I did this to produce this. And I think that's really important. You can't really do anything else except if you want a good map, you can't really do anything else except plan first, and then with that plan just execute it. So yeah.
I think one of the things that I did when I started, I mean, I still haven't released a map, and I'm working on a mini map in an area for a collab, but one of the big things that I did was practice, and one of the good ways to practice is, a lot of people don't like this idea, however it helped me a lot, is competing in just little contests. People like the Strawberry Jam, people said, oh, it's bad to start out by giving yourself a timer at the very beginning, rushing yourself in 3 days, but don't take it seriously. Doing stuff like that is good practice, and you just make a couple of throwaway maps just to try stuff out, try something new, and eventually start on a project you really want to put the work in on, and it'll probably turn out good, hopefully, if you're a good map maker.
You can't go in with expectations of making something that's up to par with Ragecraft. You're going to come in, you're going to make something that's not necessarily great. I know all of us here have released maps. The first one is not good.
My first ever Minecraft map wasn't a CTM, and it was a it was the parkour map. It was these tall castles that were literally just boxes, but but I called them castles. Oh my god, it was the worst.
But yeah, I think when it comes to starting,
Yeah, my first map was
Oh yeah, definitely.
You just need to get familiar with the mapping tools. So if you use MC Edit, get familiar with that. If you use World Edit, get familiar with that. You know.
And don't be afraid to ask for help at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said last week on the forums, there are people who, if you send them a picture, they will tell you, this is how you can make this better. People on the forums generally will not just completely bash everything you do unless you're Yiko Nico or whatever that guy's name is.
Oh god, don't even bring his name up. I'm pretty sure he got banned and he needs to go away for life.
I mean, it's really just an issue of just feedback, knowing how to give good feedback. Don't, like, even if you're giving feedback, understand that other people have opinions. Be respectful of that.
Also, make
Really
sure
what it boils down to.
make sure that when you're getting certain people to critique your stuff, if you're asking like your close friends to like critique your stuff, oh my god, my dog. Chances are that you're gonna get biased opinion. So normally I would go to the forums to some typically new people who don't really have an opinion on your work and get something from there.
And I can't stress enough, when you come into making a good map, make something that you would like to play, that you think is fun. Because if you think it's fun, other people are going to think it's fun. But if you make like a mean, hard map that you can't even beat, no one's going to want to play that. You want to make something that you enjoy because other people will probably enjoy what you enjoy.
And really, I mean, this applies to anything, but if you don't know when to start or where to start, just start. Just start making an area and then see where that goes. Because, you know, if you just sit around like, oh, I don't know when to start, I don't know where to start, then you're never gonna start a map. So you just sit down and, you know, make an area or two and see if you like those, and then if you don't, it's alright. You can make them better. Just know what to improve from. Treat that as a learning experience and move forward. Don't dwell too much on the past.
Yeah, one of the other things I'm going to mention is block variation. A lot of people come in saying like, oh, I gotta have like a ton of different blocks because block variation is like the cool shit nowadays, but make sure that you don't just spam like a bunch of different colored blocks. Like, I've seen so many new map makers that come in that have redstone blocks, lapis blocks, quartz blocks, obsidian blocks, netherrack, all mixed in together. This is including myself with like bedrock and all that stuff, and it just doesn't look good. And make sure that when picking a block variation, make a palette. So like pick out a few different blocks that you think look good together, and then use those to build the area, and then it'll usually come out looking a lot smoother. But you can't have.
When you're making. Oh, were you?
Yeah, when you can't have too high of a contrast, like obsidian and quartz. It'll just like blind. Sometimes it's too much, and also you don't want an area to be all one color of something. Although it can work, but not very often. So just be careful when picking what blocks you want to use.
Yeah, and adding on to that, you should really, when you're picking your block palette, just make sure it fits the area that you want to make. Like, make sure your area has like a theme that you think, you know, these blocks will complement that theme, you know, not just like, oh, because, you know, this looks good with this block, but it doesn't fit the theme of the map that I want. You know, don't do that. Just like think about what you're making, and then pick the blocks that best fit that theme.
Yeah, you want it to be logical.
You don't want ice to be in a lava area or something.
Yeah. Unless that's your theme. Like a fire and ice theme.
Fire and ice.
I might
Yeah.
steal that.
I think Amlep did an area in his first Uncharted territory map, but wasn't that good. But
I mean, he made a final product though.
yeah, it wasn't.
That's
Yeah,
better than some of us have done.
exactly. I was just joking around, but
Well, yeah, that's what you should do if you're a beginner. But let's talk a little bit about what we think makes a good map, a map that we enjoy and want to play. And for me, I don't think that necessarily means it has to be super difficult. I just I think maps that have unique areas, unique gameplay, unique mobs, and just dungeon design is a big thing. Having like mobs fall on the player and having the player have to traverse across the environment is a lot more fun than just spamming a ton of creepers and normal mobs at them, because that's just boring. No one wants to fight through that.
Also, one of the things is definitely take advantage of the tools you have. You can make a server with like World Edit and MBT Edit to make custom items. You can use MC Edit. There's so many different programs out there that can help you make custom stuff for your map that nobody else has. Like, there are items that I've seen maps that people use command blocks and MBT Edit data for, and it's all vanilla, so don't worry about people not having to download mods, and it makes some really cool stuff.
Yeah, Ragecraft is a great example of that. It had the items that would give you specific buffs and hurt mobs around you, and it was just really, really well done.
It's not that Ragecraft was is like a hard genre. I mean, for a beginner, maybe, but it's really what it comes down to is complexity of like the gameplay that Alicio is integrated. It's, I mean, to me, I played plenty of CTMs. I know how to, approach spawners. I know how to, just light things up and make sure that, the area is safe before we move on. But it really just comes down to the complexity and the way that complexity is executed. Like those buffs that you're talking about, and like all those items. It's just the depth that he's, like the work that he's put into making a quality product. Really just, this is why he's so popular and why we really think that he's a great map maker.
Well, that and aesthetics, I think. Aesthetics can be a huge part of making a good map as well. You don't want like ugly block variation like NB mentioned.
Yeah, but like, if you have two map makers, right, they're both equally good at aesthetics, but then one has like Ragecraft mechanics and the other has no mechanics, just plain mobs and just straightforward map, but like little thought into game. I really think that plays, like, the thought that a map maker puts into gameplay really impacts the quality. I mean, some people might have different takes, but to me, it's like, if there's great gameplay, then I know that the map makers put a lot of thought and time making that map.
I always think that gameplay is way more important to a map than aesthetics. Aesthetics are sort of for the draw factor, like if you see some pretty screenshots, you're like, oh, I want to play that and see how it plays. And you don't want to play a map that looks beautiful, but it's just spamming mobs and it's not fun. You want to play a map that's fun, and even if maybe it's not as beautiful as some other maps, it's fun to play and it's unique and it's different. So I always try to categorize gameplay much higher than aesthetics.
One of the big things that, we've kind of been leaning around, hinting at it, but make sure that your mechanics and your areas are balanced. Don't make some ridiculously hard and then make some like super duper easy, because if you have an area in intersection 2 that kills the player like 40 times and has ridiculous mobs, and then the next area is like piss easy and you can basically just walk through it because you got so much good gear, make sure that doesn't happen. If you want the difficulty to decrease in your map, then fine, but make sure it's consistent. If you want the difficulty to increase, which I think most of us can agree that's usually better, make sure it works that way, and make sure that the loot reflects what you're fighting. And balance doesn't exactly mean that every map should be balanced, but that doesn't mean every map should be normal difficulty. Balance just means that it's fair and the loot and the mobs reflect each other, and that everything works as a cohesive whole within each area, within the whole of the map.
Well, yeah. I know giving away loot that's super overpowered just sort of defeats it, and you're just sort of swinging at mobs. But if you should try to balance the mobs you have the player fight around what materials you give them in chests, and the stuff you give them in chests should be sort of middle of the road stuff, the median of what you expect them to have, and you can hide the good loot or have them fight somewhere to get the good loot, or just expect them to make it by using anvils and enchantments and stuff. But you don't want to just give away extremely good loot in every chest, because that makes your map not well balanced at all.
Also, you can't give away just like crappy loot everywhere. Like there's some
That's also
maps
true.
that I've played where the map maker gives you like wood and tools, and he expects you to do everything else yourself. It's like, okay, well, that's not fun for the player, because that requires not only a lot of grinding, but usually it's going to be pretty hard, even if you do build up an iron or diamond supply, to get at those good items to get you through areas just based off basic materials the map maker gives you. So make sure you don't just give out annoying loot that nobody's actually going to try and actively go for.
Or just like using a chest or something that's empty or something.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's like part of the theme, like you get like cobwebs and stuff. It's like aesthetics. It's like making it look.
Alright, well, I think we can move on to the next topic.
Yeah, so we've seen a few screenshots from the dev team about Minecraft 1.10.
Already, finally.
Yeah.
Yay! It was so
Yeah.
long since.
They're actually releasing updates sort of quickly now. So
Yeah,
I'm
thank
glad
God we
to
don't
see.
have to wait another year and a half. But we've seen that they've already added 2 new mobs, which is super exciting for CTM map makers, because we have to figure out how we're going to kill you with them. They added polar bears, and they've released a little bit of information about them, and they've added these things. We don't know their names yet, but we think they're called ghouls. Is that confirmed?
No, that's just speculation. Complete speculation. I think Reddit just kind of adopted that name for them.
Well,
I mean,
the
it might
polar
not
bear-
necessarily be ghouls. It might just be like. I mean, they look just like skeletons.
I think maybe what I saw some people say is maybe mobs, different variation, different abilities given what biome the mob spawns in. Not necessarily what biome the mob is in, because they can go to different biomes and they're not going to change while they're alive, but depending on where it spawns, maybe they have different abilities and stuff.
That's more plausible than ghouls or something.
I think that'd be interesting too, because other than the color of grass biome, different biomes will have a purpose in CTMs.
So
Yeah,
it
that'll
just
be-
puts a little bit more emphasis into, biome instead of grass color, also to this biome.
Yeah.
And if they have AI changes, we can sort of take advantage of those with specific custom mobs. So if that's something they're going to do, that'd be really cool. And I'd like to see how that gets used. But we also have the polar bears, and it's been confirmed that they are sort of kind of aggressive, kind of like Enderman and wolves, but they're only aggressive when they're near a baby polar bear. And I've seen some ways people want to make them mean. They're going to like have them on top of baby polar bears or beneath baby polar bears, or baby polar bears hidden somewhere so they're aggressive.
Yeah,
I don't know how
that
strong
could
it's
be
gonna
fun.
because
In like the NBT data, there's probably like a
Anger tag or something.
yeah.
You can just adjust that and it'll be angry all the time.
Hopefully it's not as buggy as the pigment anger tag.
yeah, does not work right now, which is something I hope they fix.
Also, I
also
hope
that, like, maybe they have like. Do you think that they'll be able to like equip or like have stuff?
I mean, you can do it with spiders. I don't see why not.
I don't know, because can you do it with wolves?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do it
Oh,
with any
then
mob.
yeah, you can probably do it.
I mean, it's just useless on
Cool
some.
to see like have a polar bear with like. I don't know, lava
But it's
block
finally
or
like
something.
it's perfect for ice areas, which will be awesome because it's kind of hard to figure out what to use. I mean, you can make mobs, but
Other than
having
cave
a polar bear
spiders.
that will actually be, yeah, but it'll be really cool to have actual polar bears in I hope they add more mobs and more realism because I think that'll help immerse players in maps a bit more.
That's probably true.
I mean, I guess because they're blue, but I never got why cave spiders are kind of the go-to mob in ice areas.
I mean,
It's like
there's
you're
spooky.
poisoned and then you do like a little dark move whenever you move and stuff. So it's like harder to
Yeah, I
do
guess.
stuff. I don't know.
Cave spiders.
That's my hypothesis anyway.
They're so overused.
I mean, like, what else are you gonna put in there though? It's like
I mean, you can
zombies, I guess.
customize them somehow.
Yes. But yeah,
All
that
right,
leads
well-
right into our discussion of changes we wanting 1.10, I think.
Yeah, what as map makers we think should be added to 1.10, and Rock has been hinting that he's added something sort of pointed towards the CTM community, so I'm interested to see what that'll be.
It hasn't been used yet.
For those who don't know, Rock works at Microsoft, and apparently he got in touch with the Mojang dev team and was able to suggest some things. So hopefully they're good.
The Minecraft PC dev team. He's on the Pocket Edition dev team.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe I didn't say that. I was, you know what I mean. He works on Pocket Edition. He got in touch with the PC dev team.
I think what we need to see in 1.10 is just more weapons, because they added this new combat system and it has potential, but we need new weapons, new things to use.
Honestly,
And I don't know necessarily what that would be.
I mean, Axis are making it. I don't know if I'd come back, but they're seeing more play, I guess, because of shields.
Well, yeah,
I
but
would
I
assume
want to
they
see.
would.
I want to see other things though. I want to see like more types of
Spears,
weapons and weapons that do. Spears would be cool. Stuff that do specific things.
And I'm sure
Rather than
Spears wouldn't be
just
that bad
sword,
since you
bow,
can just
axe.
copy the bow AI, or not the bow AI, but like the bow code or whatever.
But the problem is with spears is like how do you balance them for damage, because you're gonna throw it and then you lose it.
I think you just make them easier to make.
Yeah, I guess they could use flint and sticks probably. That'd
Yeah.
be easy.
It's just like arrows without the feathers. So.
Hmm. Well, what do you guys want to see in
I agree with you. I think that they should have. I know people.
1.10?
I think they should have postponed 1.9 and added more weapons. I feel like they released it and it wasn't 100% finished because they were pressured because it had been like a year and a half. I think if they just waited till like maybe like June or July to release 1.9 and added actual new weapons to accompany this new combat system, it'd be a lot better. Okay, B Major's going in and out, but
Oh, we lost B Major.
he's been kind of staticky on my end the whole time. So
Yeah, a little bit for me too.
But yeah, definitely more weapons, more mobs maybe. I mean, they seem to be adding more mobs as it is right now, so hopefully they'll add more.
Yeah, I think they added a lot of stuff that didn't get a ton of use. Like the shields they still feel a bit half finished for me for some reason. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of stuff they could explore a bit more.
shields are way too
In the end-
overpowered.
They need a bit of a revamp right now.
And then I think Skelly's definitely got too much of a buff. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, maybe that's
I
what
think they're too difficult now.
Maybe that's what the
I
ghouls
understand
are.
that they want to make it more difficult for regular survival, but that really just, it really just gutted maps and balancing in general.
Not just maps
know-
either. Just like the UHC community really got hit. Is gonna get hit hard by that whenever they do make the switch to 1.9 because people are gonna take so much more cave damage. It's gonna result in so much less like actual like fun PvP for them. Same with shields. It just slows the whole game down. It doesn't really
Yeah.
feel new. It just feels slower, and that's mainly what I don't
Definitely.
like about it.
Mhm. But one thing I was just thinking about was with the ghouls. The ghouls might just be flying skeletons, which would be terrifying.
Oh God.
Yeah, they look pretty scary in the pics, so see what they do.
I mean, I had another thought about just have something about some, I think, like mob models, but
I think the new lava block that they showed, like whatever that was, I think that could be interesting. Maybe somebody makes like a hot potato, like don't touch the floor type of area. That could be fun. I don't know. It's like a threat, but it doesn't seem as dangerous as lava. So you can have an area like more like dangerous like environmental areas without it just wiping out all your stuff when you die. So I think that could be implemented well.
I didn't even
Yeah, I
see
didn't hear
these. There's
about
these
that.
new nether blocks.
Yeah, go on Jeb's Twitter.
Oh, these look cool.
I think they need to edit the texture a little bit because right now they look kind of out of place. But they look.
I
They
think
look
they're
like,
just. They look like they just set you on fire. What I think.
yeah.
Like if
There,
you walk on it, it would set you on fire.
there could be some trolly stuff like netherrack areas, or just every once in a while there's just a random one of those that sets you on fire. It kind of pisses you off, but
I think they said something about Enderman being in the Nether too, which I don't know how much that would affect CTM maps, but that's kind of weird.
yeah.
I don't know how bad that would be.
I don't know.
I mean, it seems a bit weird. Maybe just an easier way to get to the end, I guess. Like you can find Enderman more easily.
Someone also pointed out on Twitter, I think it was, that in that picture with the Enderman in the Nether, obviously they're showing off that Enderman can now teleport into the Nether, but on the right, for some reason, I don't know if it's a different point of view or it just looks weird, but it looks like the light travels much further. I don't think it's anything, but
Yeah. Weird. But yeah, I
It
can
doesn't
see
look
what I
bad.
mean by the texture of the new block looks out of place.
Yeah.
It just kind of sticks out. They just filled in some of the gaps of the regular nether texture,
I just realized
like an orange color.
I was just holding my phone and I had the voice thing on, the voice recorder, and I just sent somebody like a 30-second clip of this podcast on accident.
Oh well, that person gets a spoiler now.
There we go.
Alright, we're gonna have to kill that enemy now.
Yeah, don't worry. It's
gonna have
it's
to
an
throw 'em
adult
out.
that doesn't play Minecraft.
Rip.
I just found a website that it's the Minecraft fanon wiki, and apparently 1.9 adds pizza, sauce, tomatoes, corn, hot dogs, beans, oats, corn, cereal, lettuce, and cooked
Ladies
lettuce.
and gentlemen,
So-
the PvP updates right here. Fetch changes in that.
You know, the April Fool's thing. I don't know if any of you saw the Mojang April Fool's one, but for this year, but they added like this thing where like it was like virtual reality goggles where you could see the world like you were standing in through the goggles, like in a 3D like setting, like a 3D map basically. And I don't know about anybody else, but I actually want to see that get implemented because it looks pretty cool, to be honest. Like
I don't know. That seems like something that'd be more leaning towards modded stuff.
not that much. I mean, to be able to have a 3D, like if they somehow implemented it so you could place 3D maps or something like that, like being able to place one in your base or something, I don't know, that could be cool. I don't really know how to work in
They
CTMs,
did
but
hint at that. I think they should definitely do that because they looked really cool, and it might be good for like an area overview or something, especially if they're dynamic and you can like see what parts you've conquered. That would look really awesome.
Oh, that would look really neat. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, instead of like giving like Chip's cheesy like area info at the beginning, just have like a diagram of like, I don't know, like a little chunk of it, and just to show like area previews, like that could be really cool.
Yeah, just like even showing just like a main structure in this 3D format would be pretty cool. but I don't know how overpowered it would be able to be if you see like which parts you've been to and which you haven't.
It would probably be a creative item.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that'd
Find it in
be
survival anywhere.
that'd be a good thing because then you could make sure that the player doesn't abuse them. Kind of like ender chests, how there's a rule against no crafting ender chests.
Well, I don't use that rule, and I allow people to craft ender chests because I honestly don't see what's so overpowered about them.
Because you can place
Yeah.
them, you can go to a wool box, place them inside the wool, and then just cheese the wool.
Well, I guess so, but I mean, if you're cheesing
I mean,
the
if
whole,
that's-
like,
Yeah, if you're gonna just die, I don't use that rule either because I don't care about it. But if like you're gonna die, who cares? You
mean,
choose to have your own death, and it's hard enough to get all those items anyway.
Well, that's the thing. You can
Especially
also place
before
those
you even have
items. You
diamonds.
can place the items in the ender chest.
Well, it's hard enough to get
then-
the obsidian and whatever the Eye of Ender that you need. So if they're gonna go through all that trouble and then waste an ender chest, be my guest.
yeah, it's not like they're gonna get it back unless they return there again.
Yeah, I
that's
guess
weird.
it was kind of a rule that was implemented out of fear from old school map makers about it, and I don't know. I guess like maps that allow it, nobody really takes advantage of it, anyways. But
And a lot of maps now have just like shortcuts once you get to the wool, so who cares if you want to choose to just kill yourself instead, you've got another death. I don't like to die in CTM, so I would never do that. But if someone wants to and that's the way they want to play it, go ahead.
or take 4 torches into an area and call the map shit because you can place 4 torches at a time, aka Yiko Nika.
Are you talking about you can
Yep.
Jeez, man.
Oh no.
That's what he said.
Don't pretend you know what you're talking about ever. If you like never played a CTM, don't come into it and be like, "Oh, I played one other CTM before. If it's not exactly like this one, it must be terrible."
No, but
do
he said that the
And I
other
mean-
CTM he played was terrible as
Yeah.
well. He just says that because it's not like Dark Souls. He said the aesthetics are not good as Dark Souls, which we're talking about freaking Minecraft here. And then he said, "Well, you give out torches, so I can just continue to death run and place 1 torch at a time." And it's like, yeah, but who has fun doing that? That's why his feedback
you
is
Every
could,
episode starts with him.
But is anyone really going to?
You know what confuses me the most, though, is that he continued to play the map. He kept on playing and just constantly complained, and no one was forcing him to do it.
I know if you
Yeah,
didn't
He was just
enjoy
doing
it.
it to shit talk.
He tried to start something and then he got
Unfortunate.
banned. So
Did he finally get?
Actually,
Yeah.
or not?
well,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got
yeah, I'm for his all of his comments, like the whole discussion, like me, Ty's comments, his comments, everybody's comments were deleted, but I think he was also banned as well.
He has 1 subscriber, and I'm very sorry for that one person.
It's
He
probably
used to have 2.
one of his friends or something. Although I don't know. Never mind. I'm gonna stop talking about him.
Well, I mean, he was trash talking the parkour community too, saying that all parkour maps had no effort.
That's kind of true. A lot
Well,
of
I mean, there's
that's
some.
not true. There's some that are
He was
really
just kinda
unique and
stereotyping.
interesting.
Like
Yeah,
that,
you
that
can't-
30-day Christmas thing, that parkour map, 30-day Christmas. I don't know what it's called. That one has really good aesthetics, pretty fun overall, but really hard too.
It's pretty old, also. I think that was a while, a
but
couple
it
years
had-
ago.
I think it aged pretty well though.
Oh my god, he made
Yeah,
he also made a thread that said, "I'm gonna make the best parkour map ever." He also made a thread that said, "Fix your forum already," basically him yelling at the mods. He made a forum thread about all of his LPs and map reviews, and he yelled at a ton of people just for random stuff. And he also asked for $400 to make an area on a faction server, which is
That's the opposite of what you want to do on the internet, kids.
yeah,
Don't come
This
and be
lesson to
Don't-
say is
which is
don't be a jerk.
You're not allowed to do map commission for money on the forums, I don't think. So yeah, don't ask for $400 for to make
Even
areas.
if you're
like that.
joking, because not everyone gets jokes.
In general, don't ask for money on the internet because you probably won't get it, and if you do, it's probably shady and something might go wrong. So unless you're like setting up a Patreon or something for your channel that you've had for a while and you know it's safe and you've gone through all the precautions, don't just go on the internet and say, "Hey, who wants to give me $200?" Because before you know
Even
it,
if you're joking, like,
yeah, because you're bankrupt now.
yeah.
All right. Well, we surprisingly went for 35 minutes today, and now we're out of topics. I was surprised how long we were able to go based on how much little we had to say.
We literally came up with the topics like 2 minutes ago, or
Yeah,
2 minutes before we started.
There were like
Yeah.
3 posts on the forums this entire week regarding CTMs.
Yeah,
Just
so
a little
if
bit
you
of a
guys
dead zone.
if you have things you want us to talk about, please
April.
let us know, because we will talk about them. Yeah, everyone's in school, everyone's worrying about finals. Soon summer will be here, and everyone will be happy. I know I will.
And maybe Titans Revolt will finally be released.
Maybe.
I mean, Rock said something about all the areas are done or something like that.
Yeah, but
He
they
said
don't
they're
have the
still waiting.
download for Purple Wool.
Maybe September will also be released. Who knows?
Good one.
Septum will be released when Fang's on his deathbed.
He'll be like,
Probably.
it's got like 8 wolves. I'll release it now.
You just release it in chunks and say that the rest is DLC.
He's like, I don't know, I guess him moving it to 1.8, he said takes a while, and that's what he's doing right now. And he says once he's done with that, all he has to do is loot and spawners, which apparently he's gonna have Chip do all of that for him.
Nope, never, don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that thing. If you're listening to Fang, don't do that.
I don't want him to do that either. I think
Never trust the chipmunk.
As long as Chip doesn't make the stupid bold and like italicized text for everything.
Bold, italicized, underlined, X'd out.
I also don't think he's doing the mobs. He's just doing the spawner, or he's just doing the loot.
All right.
Yeah, I think
good.
Fang's doing mobs.
Yeah, because we saw the mobs in CM4. But that's for that's for another day. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. If you have questions and stuff for us to talk about, so we don't have to come up with it 2 minutes before the podcast, that'd be great. And hopefully we'll be back.
It's like,
Ask anything.
actually
Doesn't have
something
to
to
be
watch.
doesn't have to be CTM related. Just you can ask anything.
Yeah,
Just
ask us
fun questions.
as long as it's not too political, because that might get ugly.
no, we love talking
Thanks.
about politics. Please send us your political ideas our way, and we'll send them to the government. Don't worry.
Maybe Fang will come in and talk about Bernie Sanders.
Don't worry. Fang is an undercover CIA agent.
He is, and that's why he's on a mission. That's why he can't get Septum done. Bye, everyone. On that happy note.
All right. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.